So last thing I want to show you guys is the assignment, how to add an assignment. And I guess this is a very simple task. So I'm just going to do it very quickly. It will take us less than 10 minutes. Okay. People have been asking, okay, how do I get students to submit work they've done? And the simplest form is assignment, just a basic assignment. So to do that, I'm just going to go to anywhere. Let's take this one. And I'm going to go to add an activity or resource. Click on that and I select assignment. Okay. So students can upload anything for assignments. They can upload video, audio, PDF, Word, PowerPoint, anything that is digital, they can. What we trying to do on our platforms, what we should do is always select specific files that they can delimit the type of files they can upload and set a limit on the file size, the upload size. That's important. That's very important. Eh? So, of course, that assignment module allows the teacher to grade and give feedback right from there. Okay, so to add the assignment, you just make sure you select assignment, select add. Okay, it's not very difficult. You put in the assignment name. I'll call this assignment 1. You put in the description of the assignment. You are required to, and we can go on and on and on. Okay. And then now you can actually add your rubric or whatever you have and the additional files. And that's important. Eh? So I can go here, click add, and choose my rubric for my assignment. Do I have any rubrics anywhere there? I have rubrics, not rubric. Okay, so I don't have any rubrics. So I'm just going to select anything. Okay, so I'm just going to select Moodle Sandbox as my rubric. And I'm going to upload this. Okay. Then now, the important thing, after you have added the name, the description, and your rubric right here. Okay, or you may want to add also, and you could add more than one file, right? You might want to add a downloadable description of the assignment. Okay, so that the students can print it and work on it before they come back online. Then you go to the availability. Okay, you may want assignments submitted during a specific time. You may not want the student to submit the assignment too early. So under availability, you would choose allow submissions from a certain time. So let's say I have said this assignment, I want to allow submissions from the 21st of April. I just click here and select 21st April 2020 from midnight. If I don't click enable, this will not happen. So I need to click enable. What it means is that the student cannot submit until that date comes up. Okay? Now the due date is basically the date that this thing must be submitted. So in as much as they can start submitting from April 21st, the actual due date is 24th. But you want to give a student an opportunity to submit when they're done. Okay? Now there's a cutoff date. This is very important. If you use that, if you enable the cutoff date, let me enable it. And let me set the cutoff date, let's say to 25th of April. What it means is that no student can submit after that date. No student. In order to submit, they will have to email you and give you the reason why they could not submit in the first place, and then you make a decision based on that. You can come back to the assignment and change the cutoff date so that they can submit. Okay? But the assignment also has a module that tells you how many days late the assignment is. Okay, if you extend the cutoff date. Okay? The other option is this one, remind me to grade by. So I use it because it does send me emails telling me that I have assignments to grade, just like my HOD will tell me, or the students will ask me for their assignments. In the same way, we have this option here. Okay, so we need to ensure that we enable this so that we can get those reminders. The next step is to look at the submission types, and this is where we can decide whether you want them to upload a file or to just type in their responses. Okay, so if we go in to have them type in their responses, we can set a word limit, let's say of 500 words, so they can't go beyond that. Okay, so this is the first option. The other option is to have them do the file submission. If you select that option, you need to decide on the maximum number of uploaded files. I like to keep that to 1 because it's one assignment they're asking you for. Try and put everything together. Okay. Even in digital media, when the students must submit the code for the websites, we ask them to zip the file so that they still submit 1 file. And then now we need to decide on the maximum submission size. I like to keep it to 10 megs, again, because you don't want to cause overload of the storage system. Okay. And by default, I know our site at SALCC, I have delimited this to 20 meg maximum. And then now, importantly, you could decide on the file types that the students must submit. Okay. So to do that, you go here, you choose, and you have the list of files. So if you only want them to submit a document because you want to edit it, so you want to put your comments in there, you just simply select a document, and then you select the type of document. Now understand, you can't just select one type of document because students may have access to different tools. Okay, so you just want anything that is editable, a Word document, rich text format document, open document. This is an open source software for document preparation. Okay, hey, I didn't choose. What did I do wrong? Okay, so we have our document. Let's go back here, and I'm going to scroll downwards. So a lot of scrolling, and I'm going to save changes. Okay, so they can submit a document, anything that is editable. So far, we have our name of our assignment description, our rubric, and if we want a downloadable, okay, version of the assignment. We have checked on the availability. We have open submissions. We have a due date, and we have a cutoff date for submissions. Plus, we have a date where we're going to be reminded, okay, whether that we need to start marking. Okay. Also, we have our submission types. We can have them submit online text, meaning they type it. Okay, and we can set a word limit. Okay. Or we can just have them submit a file. Okay, and set the file size, etc. So far, so good. So we have our feedback types, which is basically the ability for you guys as teachers to send, well, feedback to the students. And there are a number of ways of sending feedback. Okay. By default, feedback comments and annotated PDF are enabled, meaning that if a PDF is submitted, okay, you can actually add comments on it. Feedback comments actually opens up a box, okay, in the assignment submission so that you can actually type in your comments. Okay. Comments in line, is that set at default? No. But if you set it at yes, it simply just places the comments in a certain position for the user. Okay, let's look at submission settings. Okay. Once the students upload, do you want them to click the submit button? If you have it at default no, it means that once they submit, they have submitted. If you have it as yes, to qualify that they have submitted, they must click the yes button. If they do not do that, then they haven't submitted. Okay? So if you have a submission statement added, like a document telling them that they have submitted, etc., and you want them to make sure they click that they have seen it and accepted it, you set this at yes. Okay? Now, this is the important one here, attempts reopened. Do you want the student to go back and resubmit all the time? That's up to you to decide. If the student submitted early, can they go back to the submission and change their submission? Okay, if they realize they did something wrong, etc. My take on that is yes, we should allow them to. Okay, we should really allow them to. And so I'll select automatically until pass. Okay, which means that they can resubmit until the cutoff point. Okay, and maximum number of attempts at resubmission. If we put it at unlimited, that means they can resubmit about 1,000 times. It doesn't matter. You might want to limit that. Okay. One of the beautiful things about Moodle assignment submission is that it allows the students to submit group assignments. Okay. And so if it is a group assignment, you can activate group submission settings. Yes. Okay. Right. And so you can actually decide whether you want the entire group to make the submission, or you want to require all members to submit. In this case, if we click yes here, then the group will make the submission. So we have to go down to grouping of students and select our grouping. So we don't have any groupings right now, so that's all right. Okay, but the beauty of this thing is that it allows for group submissions. Traditionally, when students submit as groups, the names of the group members are on the assignments. But once you enable the group submission, the person submitting will select on the members of the group, or if the groups are assigned, the submission will automatically go to these group members. So when you grade now, when you grade the students, the grade goes to the individual group members as well. Okay. Notifications, right? So do we want to select that and notify graders about submission? From my experience, that can be pretty annoying because everybody that submits, you get an email. So I usually leave that alone. But I would select this one, notify graders about late submissions, because sometimes students submit after the cutoff point and you have already graded. So you may not have gone back to the assignment. So an email will come to you letting you know that somebody has submitted late. Okay. So let's go to grade. Finally, you can set the grade for the student. So we can grade this out of 50, for instance. And let's look at the grading method. Again, just like we did with the forums, you have a simple grading method, a direct one where you just give a score, a marking guide, which is your mark scheme or your rubric. So you decide on that. You set your grade to pass. So my grade to pass is 25. Okay. So blind marking, let's talk about that. That is where you have a number of markers who are marking this thing and they do not see the grade that was assigned by the different markers. Okay. So if you have more than one person marking the work, then, and you don't want them to see what grade was assigned by a previous marker, okay, then you do that. But if we don't have blind marking activated, then we don't need to activate those things either. Okay, the higher grade identity for students, etc. Okay, these three here have to do with if you have more than one marker, if you're doing moderation. So I know at SALCCT we do moderation for certain courses and stuff like that. So this is a feature that should be used for assignment submission. Okay, and well, we know what these are already. We don't have to go through it. So after you have done all of that, you save and you return to the course. And here is the assignment submission right here. So let us just see what the student sees. I'm going to just switch my role to student. Okay. And I'm going to scroll all the way down. So as a student, I'm going to go to the assignment, click on it. Okay, and it tells me that this assignment will accept submissions from Tuesday, 21st April 2020 at 12 a.m. So it's not allowing any submissions at this point. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. Let me just edit that so that I can submit something. So let me change my role to my normal role. Okay, I'm going to go back to the assignment. I'm going to edit it so that, okay, so that it will allow submissions at any time. It doesn't matter. So I save and return. And this time I go back to my student view. I want to view as a student. And I scroll all the way down. Okay, and I click on the assignment. Okay. So oops, I had it set on at groups in groups, so I have to fix that. My bad. Sorry. Let me just take out the group mode. I think I had it in group mode. So let me just edit settings. When did I select those groups? I'm trying to remember. Oh yes. Oops. Okay. So let me save and return. Okay. This is the last time it should work. Go to student. One more time. I'm going down to the assignment. Okay, now notice that I can submit. This is what the student sees. Okay, so I can add submission right here as a student. Okay, and I can add my file by clicking here, choosing my file. I'm just going to choose anything at this point. Okay, going to upload, and I'm going to save changes. So I have submitted. And notice it says submitted for grading. And this is the file that has been submitted. So the next step, I'm going to go back to my normal role as administrator. I'm going to have a look at this, right? And I'm going to click on view all submissions now. Let me see what has been submitted. So this is what you see as the teacher. Okay. So, well, as usual, I'm not seeing anything because I submitted myself. I'm not a student, but what you would see here is the list of assignments submitted. And all you do is click on them and begin the grading process.